This video will be about geometric series. A geometric series, like an arithmetic series, deals with the sum of the elements of a geometric sequence. Let's see if we can come up with a formula for this sum. Remember that the nth term formula for a geometric sequence is g of n equals g of 1 times r to the n minus 1. This means that our sum would be equal to g1 plus g1r plus g1r squared. We're going to sum that all the way down until we get to g1r to the power of n minus 1. Now what happens if we multiply this entire equation by r? What we end up with is s times r equals g1r plus g1r squared, summing all the way down until g1r to the n. Then, if we subtract these two equations, what we end up with is s minus sr equals g1 minus g1r to the n, because all of the other terms in the middle cancel out. So using this, we can do a little bit of algebraic manipulation, and we end up with the formula for our sum, which is g1 minus g1 times r to the nth over 1 minus r. In some cases, though, we will be given the last term of the series instead of n. And in that case, what we can do is develop a formula in terms of g1, gn, and r. So remember that g of n equals g1 r to the n minus 1. Notice that this is almost the same thing as what we see here, except multiplied by an extra r. So what we can do is multiply by that extra r. We end up with g1 r to the n. And then all we have to do is substitute in this expression here for what we see here. So that leaves us with s equals g1 minus gnr over 1 minus r as our alternate formula for the sum of a geometric series. Just like with arithmetic series, we can use sigma notation to describe a geometric series. So again, the way this works is you have your sigma sign, your variable, and then the number it starts at. On top of the sigma, you have the number it ends at. And then beside the sigma, you have the function of n that you want to be plugging in and summing. And so in this case, our function of n is going to be g of n for a geometric series. So let's say, for example, we have a function described by something whose first term is 2 and whose ratio is 3 over 2. And we want to sum up the first 7 terms. Then we can write this in sigma notation as n equals, we're going to start at 1 and we want to go up to 7. And our function is g1 times r to the power of n minus 1.